This video is probably not for everyone, but if you've been going through something and you're not quite sure how to put that into words, then just sit with me for a minute, because I've been feeling that too. It's not a breakdown. It's not like things are falling apart. It's just this persistent feeling that's saying something isn't right. It's like you're the same person. Everything is the same. You look into a mirror and you see the same person standing there, but it just doesn't feel the same. Like somewhere along the way, you kind of lost who you are. I want to be honest with you about why I started this channel. I didn't start it because I had answers. I started this because one night I was lying down in my apartment in Japan, this apartment, and I was staring at the ceiling, and then I realized I spent 15 years becoming someone I didn't recognize anymore. Not because anything had gone wrong, everything had gone right, and that's exactly the problem. I had followed every step I was supposed to follow. My ultimate goal was to make everyone around me happy, and in the process, I neglected myself. And then at the end of the path, I was standing there and then felt completely empty. The scariest part wasn't the emptiness itself, is that I had no words for it. I just couldn't explain it to anyone because from the outside, everything looked right. So I just kept going. I kept grinding, I kept distracting myself, I kept filling every silence with something. I got to a point where I just couldn't stand the silence in my own apartment. So I had to have the TV turned on all the time, or just put on some kind of music so that there's always that background noise playing. Just any kind of noise that would drown out my own head. Because I knew that if things got too quiet, then that feeling would creep in again. Until I just couldn't ignore it anymore. Maybe you're in a transition right now that has a clear name to it. A breakup, a divorce, a loss, a move to somewhere completely new. Or maybe your transition is more invisible. Nobody around you knows what's happening with you, because honestly you thought it would be useless to try to explain it to them. You figured they wouldn't get it anyway, or that you'd seem ungrateful, so in the end you just give up. But inside, something has quietly closed. An identity that used to work just stopped fitting. And whether your transition has a name to it or not is true and is valid. And I can attest to that because I've been through the same thing. And it can leave you feeling completely alone in a way that's almost impossible to put into words. This channel is for that feeling. It's for the ones in the middle. I saw this thing about trapeze artists, about that split second when they've let go of that one bar, but they haven't caught the next one yet. So they're just in midair, right? There's nothing to hold on to. It's just them, the gravity, and the hope that they can grab on to the next bar. I feel like that's where a lot of us are right now, in that uncomfortable, disorienting space where the old one no longer fits, but the new one hasn't arrived yet. But it's also where the change happens. So this is for the ones who are quietly carrying that weight alone, and for the ones who are ready to start finding your way back to yourself, even if you're still shaky or still full of doubts. I'm not going to offer you quick fixes because honestly, I don't think that's what you actually need right now. What I found through the practice of mindfulness, through sitting with discomfort instead of running away from it, and through slowly learning to listen to that quiet inner voice, is that the way through a transition isn't faster thinking, it's deeper presence. It's learning to be with yourself in the uncertainty. And that's the skill that we all need to learn. And is to stop fighting the feeling and start being curious about it. On this channel, we're going to explore some things together that I believe can help you with your transition, no matter what kind of transition you're going through in life. The first one is self-listening. Self-listening is such an important skill that no one teaches you about. It's not just listening to your own thoughts, because we do that sometimes, but it's feeling the truth in your body when your mind is trying to talk you out of it. And the second one is the grief of your own identity, right? It's how to let go of the version of you that didn't make it without feeling like a failure. And we'll also talk about self-compassion. Self-compassion is, something you might hear about a lot. But once again, if you really practice mindfulness like myself, you will understand how difficult self-compassion may be for some people, right? How we often judge ourselves so much compared to how we judge others. And we will talk about self-compassion not as a soft luxury, but as a hard necessity when you're too tired to keep going. We'll also explore impermanence, how you can embrace impermanence. Because if you think about it, that's exactly what it is. The transition is the change, right? So you will need to learn to accept impermanence and the changes that go on in your everyday life, because believe it or not, we experience change every day and almost every moment. So we'll explore finding that weird, shaky peace that comes when you stop trying to make your life fix and start learning how to flow with the change. I'm not sharing this from a place of having arrived, because I haven't. I'm still in my own transition and still figuring it out. There are still days when I don't know which way to go. But I've learned that you don't have to have it all figured out to start finding your way back to yourself. Before you go, I want to invite you to do something together. Just one moment, stop. Whatever you're doing, whatever you're thinking or planning, just stop and take a breath, a real one. We don't do that often. We breathe all the time, but to be intentional and to be aware of when we breathe, we don't really do that. So I want to invite you to do that together, just one breath. And then notice that right here, right now, you're okay. Not when you have things figured out, not when the transition is over, not when life starts making sense again, but right now. And that's always been enough. I don't know where you are exactly in your journey right now. Maybe you're right at the beginning where things are starting to shift. Maybe you're deep in the middle and you're feeling exhausted and unsure which direction to go. Or maybe you've been in the middle for such a long time and you're just tired of carrying it all alone. Wherever you are, I made this for you. I made this from a place of knowing what it's like through my own experience and knowing so many people in my circle who are experiencing the same thing, and that I have learned the practice of mindfulness for years, and I know that it's helping me. So I want this to help you too. Not to fix you or give you a roadmap of your life, but to walk alongside you in it. Because the most important thing that I've learned through my own transition is this: you don't need to do this alone. I hope that was helpful, And if this resonates with you, please like, leave your comments, and subscribe to the channel. I post new videos every week about what I just mentioned today. And yes, thank you for being here. As always, take care of your heart, be present, be kind, and I will see you in the next video.